Good evening, folks. Samson told Labra Pabrito having some serious technical issue here tonight, so my mic is not quite in place. But we'll do our best. We'll do our best here tonight, and hopefully we're audible and what have you. I couldn't find my tools this evening, so please bear with us as we try to do the best here tonight. At time you will find maybe my mic is farther away or so, but I will bend over because the mic is right there. But I want to thank all of you that tuning in. We say thank you very much. Many of you that tuning in right now, we say thank you. Please share this video as much as you can. We have some real one to see. I'm facing my hair, everything. I mean, I'm getting ready. Well, no, on a very serious, we want to thank all of you for your support, for your continued support. We really do appreciate it. We're going to have a wonderful conversation here. Safety, Lord Jesus. We want to thank you again this evening. As we come out here, my Lord, we want to thank you and we want to ask you to take complete control. As we come out to discuss whatever it is we have to discuss, whatever malice, hate, we're human beings like any other person. But when we come out, we ask you to take complete control. Guide our thoughts, guide our tongue. Whatever comes out of our mouth tonight, my Lord, that is be of a decent proposal for our brothers and sisters. My Lord, we ask that you continue to bless the Liberian diaspora. We got 2 tables to feed. We have table here in the diaspora to feed, and we have table back home to feed. And because of your blessing, you continue to pour on us. Because of the opportunities you give us, we continue to do these things. We ask you to give us more, and we will do what we have to do. We ask, my Lord, that you bless the Republic of Liberia. Bless the leadership of the Republic of Liberia. Give them wisdom to do what is good for our people. My Lord, thank you. Thank you for all of the graduates. Thank you. Thank you for all of the parents out there. Thank you. My Lord, you're such a wonderful person. I can stay here all night and just continue to talk about the goodness of you. Those of the people that don't know you, we ask they come to you. Because you are the only light and the only light that we know. And because of that, we will say thank you for everything. We ask that you bless the host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, folks, Samson told Liberian Public Radio. I hope I'm audible enough. I'm going to have with me here very shortly Mr. NYANUE, who is in the green room, going to be coming on here very shortly. We're going to have some fruitful discussion here about our own GEDEH diaspora. And of course, we will put in, he's not a stranger to Liberian politics. He's a guru. We'll put him anywhere you put him, he's there. So I'm not that surprised. But I want to thank all of you that are tuning in right now. We say thank you. Thank you. Please share this video as much as you can. Please share this video because it's very important that you invite as many friends as possible for this video to go viral if we can. We'd love to have as many people as possible. Let me first of all just welcome all of you to say thank you for tuning into LeBron Pub Radio, and then we're going to start the conversation. But in the meantime, this is Samson told the liberal of the network. And I'm not here for Kumba here. I told Mr. So, the central right, the conservative group on this network, that they are not going to be successful in trying to bamboozle the network to go on this conservative side. We're not going to allow that. We're not going to allow that. We will make sure we become the counterweight of this conservative group over here. This is not Fox News. This is the liberal show. Well, now that I talk all my tabata, let me now go on to Mr. NYANUE to welcome Mr. NYANUE, Mr. William NYANUE, who is here. You know who he is. So let's bring in Mr. NYANUE. Mr. NYANUE, are you there? Oh, okay. There you are. Mr. NYANUE, can you hear me?
Yes,
Mr.
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. So why are we not able to have names out there? Oh, okay. Here we go. So I want to thank you. Mr. NYANUE, for joining. We appreciate it. The link is out there, so if anybody call you, let them go on to the Liberian Granadian Diaspora website. I just pasted the link in there as well, so they should be able to see it. Thank you for joining us, as I stated. Thank you very much. And on a fair note, Mr. NYANUE is a good friend of mine. It's like brother to me. So, however he agree, we're going to have a fruitful discussion, honest discussion here tonight. And he's always been honest with me whenever I ask him to join me on this platform. So it's nothing strange, and it's not going to be that different here tonight either. Mr. NYANUE, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Samson.
Okay, you want to give us your opening, because I'm not going to ask the people for you to introduce yourself. So I think many people know who you are. But you want to have an opening statement here, or should I just go ahead and we're going with the conversation?
I've been on your show several times, and I find it a pleasure to come here. I'm not one who go to these platforms a lot. So when there's an issue that I need to speak to, I appreciate the fact that I have an opportunity on your platform to have a conversation. So it's nice to be here.
Thank you. So let's start the conversation. You have a group. You are the coordinating officer of a group. Style himself, Granadian Diaspora Voice. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So we will talk about that. The last time you were here, the formulation of our group was already established. I mean, there's no question. I am a member of that group as well. And the last time you were here, the intent for that group at that time was to oppose the nomination and the confirmation process of Superintendent Charles Churchill Grant, who is now Superintendent of Grand GEDEH County. How did that go? How did you guys do in terms of your advocacy and everything else? You care to talk to us about that?
I think we did what we set out to do, even though we didn't achieve our goal. And our goal was to stop the confirmation of Mr. Grant. We didn't succeed in that respect, but I succeeded by and large in terms of the bigger goal we wanted to achieve. And that goal was, when there's something happening in Grand GEDEH, people of Grand GEDEH must speak up. It doesn't matter whether you achieve your desire, but you must be heard. And I think we did that. I think we were heard. So as you know, Mr. Grant was confirmed. He's now Grand GEDEH superintendent. But the issues we raised are still valid. And only time will tell.
Mr. NYANUE, will you consider your effort as a big failure? on the part of all of us, the member of this group, that we failed miserably. Will you agree with me on that?
No. In
No.
fact, to the contrary, I think we succeeded. What was the goal? Yes, the apparent immediate goal was to stop Mr. Grant's confirmation. But there was a bigger goal. And the bigger goal was to challenge the Liberian system. You know, we pride ourselves in saying we are a democratic country. And in a democracy, it's the people who actually govern. And we challenge the system, Samson. And where I said we succeed, because even though there are so many people who will not show face, the people that have called me here, who had conversation, all they can tell me is apology. We are sorry. I did not receive a single call that said you guys are doing the wrong thing. Everybody came back with an apology. That means they know that there is something.
But let me hold you. Let me hold you.
Circumstances. Let me end.
Okay.
The prevailing circumstances did not allow the situation to be resolved in a way that will validate our claim that we are a democratic society.
Okay, so you said that there were other Nigerians that will not show face, but yet they were able to.
No. I didn't say Nigerians.
Okay.
I said there are people who will not show face.
Okay,
yes.
people.
And a lot of the people that I even had conversation with are not Nigerians. Yeah, they're not Nigerians.
I take that. I take that back. So those people that were not showing face but apologizing to you, are those a member of the Liberian government, or who are they? You don't have to give the name, but what do they stand to gain, and what was the reason for their apology?
Because they said we did the right thing. They say your issues are valid.
Even though you failed to achieve your goal.
No. But that's what I'm saying. Because if your definition of success is limited to stopping Grant from becoming Superior Grand Jury, then you can say that. But I just
No.
You gotta let me land.
Okay, go ahead.
I am saying if your immediate definition, or if your only definition is success is measured in terms of stopping Grant from going to Grand Jury, yeah, then you can say that. But I just told you there was a bigger goal. The bigger goal was to test the system, and we did. We tested the system.
Good. But from all of the writing on our website, majority of the writing was saying this group was established to make sure Grant did not go to Grand Jury as superintendent. So was that not the major at that time? Was it not the only reason why this group was formed in the first place?
But that is the case. I mean, to me, it's like we're going in circles now. We did not go into that process naively, Samson. We know the Liberian system. We knew the people that we're dealing with. We did it in spite of that knowledge. And I'm saying we did it because we had a bigger goal. And the bigger goal was test the system. And that's what we did. You know, Did we enter this system? Did we enter that whole process believing that, you know, we're 100% sure that Mr. Grant will not be confirmed? Of course not. We knew the system, right? So even if you read our writings, our writing was to educate and to inform and to tell people and say, look, this is what is happening. This is the situation. That's what I'm telling you. A lot of people who read our communication came back with apology. They said, you guys, your issues are legitimate. Your process is honorable. And we are sorry that the outcome is not what it should be.
I see. Okay, we're not gonna go like you said, around in circle here. So let's move on to it. Seeing we're still on the Grand and the Nigerian diaspora voice still. the fact that there are those Liberians also who are saying that you guys were trying to somehow circumvent, and I'll be very, and I'm picking my word very strongly, very strong, but I'm picking my word very carefully. You guys were trying to circumvent or somehow disregarding the constitutional process, in that they were argued that the president has a constitutional mandate to appoint. And you also, as a Liberian, also have a constitutional mandate to oppose. But your opposition process, from my perspective, I thought perhaps it was a little bit over the top, Mr. NYANUE. Am I wrong?
How? Just tell me how.
Well, for example, we had several meetings, and those meetings are not something of a secret. They are made public, which I really appreciate you guys. Nothing was done in secret or in isolation. But there were meetings that was held, and then predominantly people were arguing that grant, no matter what, must be stopped. We formed a group to talk to the lawmakers, the senators, make sure he wasn't confirmed. We wrote the letter to other international community partners about this whole process, including to President Bakai. Are we then not saying that perhaps President Bakai, yeah, you have the right to nominate, but when it comes to Grand GEDEH, we don't want you to nominate. We want you to nominate certain people that we want, and not the person you have in mind. Mr. NYANUE, is that not going over the top?
Samson. And that's why I say our bigger goal was achieved. Because people need to be educated. Even those of us who claim to be educated, we need to be re-educated. You know, when you talk about the president's prerogative, which is true, the president has the constitutional prerogative to appoint whomever he wishes. But Samson, there is a presumption in that constitutional prerogative. And I'm sure you agree that even though the president has the authority to appoint, the Liberian people reject if he took a Zogo and say you are the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Would they not? So the fact that you have the authority, you have to look at the underlying presumption. And the presumption is that you are guided, your authority is circumscribed by certain conditions. And that is the point that we were making. We were saying Mr. Grant is not qualified. Especially when the president came and he said, you know, this new dispensation is looking for integrity, looking for all the nice things. So I am saying to you that the power to appoint is circumscribed. The president is a rational person. That is the presumption. That the president is not going to get up one day and take a crazy man and say, you're the Minister of Public Works. I mean, you sound like you engineer, you will be making the louder noise here. So the fact that something is being done is not always sufficient that perhaps it's the right thing. And all we were saying, and that we are still saying, is that Mr. Grant is the wrong person to be superintendent of Grand GEDEH based on his record. And nobody challenged the record. Nobody. Even Mr. Grant himself could not challenge the record. So isn't that our constitutional, I would even say obligation, that if you see something that is not right, speak up? And that was exactly what we did. And we followed a logical process. We sent a petition to the appointing authority. We sent a petition to the confirming authority. We informed the public. And then in the end, we summarized the process that we went through. I thought it was very to the point and very responsible.
Thank you. One last thing on this, well, two more, then we can move on to another subject matter. And this Grand GEDEH diaspora voice is the main subject matter here tonight. But in the process of resisting, I would say, I'm using my word carefully now, but they're very strong, resisting grant appointment. We also had young people on the ground from Grand GEDEH County who themselves were opposed to this whole process of grant being nominated and confirmed. We were also in communication with other Grandidians. Grandidians Elders Council also objected to this whole process. Mr. NYANUE, some few years back, I believe it was Superintendent Solo, when the Grand GEDEH Putu Mountain, GEDEH Mountain, whatever way you want to start it, came about, they contacted you as one of the permanent leader in the county here in the diaspora, from the county here in the diaspora, to review those documents and see what in that document that perhaps is going to be beneficial to Grandidians. And what are those in the document that perhaps your group, or whoever you're going to put together, can say this will work for you and this might not work for you. Those were just a recommendation. But the mere fact they did that, it was a form of respect, but also that they were counting on the Grandidian diaspora to make sure whatever comes in Grand GEDEH from the national government, that it indeed is in the interest of the county. And I was one of those on that committee to review it from the engineering perspective, and I think we did a wonderful job in responding to that review. We sent all our communication and what have you. I'm not going to go and relitigate that. But the point, the overall point that I'm trying to make here, the fact that we were so strong on Grant, and now that he is superintendent, Mr. NYANUE, you think if Mr. Grant had that kind of opportunity to seek advice from the Grandidian diaspora, you think he will come back to us, knowing full well that we are not in it with we were not supporting him. Not only were we not supporting him, but that we wanted him out because we feel within ourselves that he was unqualified. And yet, the nominating process, those who were nominating Mr. Grant felt that he was qualified. But for us, we were not qualified. So the question to you now, Mr. NYANUE, did we miss the boat?
Samson, first of all, let me refresh your memory.
Yeah.
The leadership of GEDEH did not send us the Putu MDA. They did not ask us to do review. What happened was that the MDA was signed, and then the Grandidians back home were protesting. I remember that effort was being led by Dwe Bole.
Right.
And so we heard a lot of the noise in the media. Madam Martha Kana was then the president. And then we decided together to request a copy of the document. I'm not sure exactly who sent it to us. Maybe it was Dwe who sent it. But it was not from the Grand GEDEH Authority. The Grand GEDEH Authority did not seek our advice.
Okay.
And of course,
I was a member of it, so perhaps I was under a wrong impression at the time.
No, they did not seek. You see, Grand GEDEH leadership never seeks advice. See, these are some of the things I want for us to talk about tonight. They never seek advice because they personalize everything. If you disagree with them, you become a mortal enemy. They personalize everything, and that's the exact point you're making with Grant. You see, the difficulty in Liberia is Liberian leaders, not just Grand GEDEH, Liberian leaders, the mentality is once they get in leadership, then everybody should come begging them. You see, it's different here in this country. You've been here in a lot of countries that are developed. Leaders go and look for good people. In Liberia, people run to the leader. So the point that we're making with Mr. Grant, we said that Mr. Grant was the wrong person. We said Mr. Grant was not qualified to be superintendent of Grand GEDEH. We were not listened to. Now the boy is in his court. He should prove us wrong. And if proving us wrong for him will mean that he will shun people from the diaspora, who were helping them, God bless him. See, that is a disease in Liberia. Because now for Grant, this is a personal issue. It's not personal. To a lot of us, it's not personal. That's why every piece of document we wrote, we were objective. And anything that we wrote that anybody can challenge, we challenge them to challenge it. And say, here's what they wrote that was wrong, or that is not true. They can't say that. See,
Okay.
so right now, it's in Grant's court. Yeah, no, something, just understand this. Because this is exactly how Liberian leaders behave. You disagree with them, they make you an enemy. And if Grant thinks he will succeed by making people enemies, then bless his heart. That's all I'm going to say.
So, but Mr. NYANUE, let me push back a little bit on that. I mean, we're all Liberians, and many of us were not born here. We know the culture of vindictiveness is just in us. Unless some of us that are here have come to learn that these type of behavior, they are not conducive, and they are not productive in terms of cooperating with each other for the common goal. And many of our brothers and sisters, and I'm not going to pull punches on here, many of our brothers and sisters back there, even family members don't even understand that. So the question now is, why I said that we missed the boat, perhaps if we were to somehow not meddle out, but the fact that we pointed out to Grant, you're not qualified, and we listed. In fact, you guys had a meeting with Mr. Grant, and you guys were very frank with him, because after the meeting, he and I talked, and he explained exactly what the meeting was, because I was the one who asked for the meeting. And so he called me back, he and I talked, and he told me exactly what the meeting was. And I know for a fact that you guys were very frank with him and told him the truth. You didn't hide it. However, Grant being a young person, a Grant GEDEH, who is now the higher operating officer for Grand GEDEH County, do you guys think that perhaps we should have said, okay, let them give you the job, but here are our conditions. We will work with you. Why didn't we do that, Mr. NYANUE? Was that something that we were not prepared to do either?
Violates a fundamental principle. The fundamental principle is you don't reward bad behavior. See, that is the problem with Liberia. We reward bad behavior, and then we expect people to do better. You see, if we were punishing bad behavior, then people would think twice before they engage in bad behavior. For me, that's a violation of a fundamental principle.
I agree. But let me say this.
And that's why, that's why I said the last release we sent out. So I'm saying this is important. This is not just Grand GEDEH, Liberia too. The last release we sent out, we said if you go in your town and the people tell you this man or this woman is a chicken rogue, you can steal chicken. And then you say, okay, but let them in charge of the chicken coop, and let's watch whether they will steal. Is that wisdom? Okay. That's not wisdom. Wisdom says you prevent, you don't kill. Because when they say prevention is better than kill. If I went to Liberia today and I was given a piece of job to do, and at the back of my mind, I know if I don't perform, there will be consequences. I will think twice. If I believe that I got friends, I got connections, and whatever I do, there'll be no consequence. My behavior will be different.
Okay,
that's the fundamental thing.
I agree with you. Fundamentally, yes, you're quite correct. I mean, I know who you are. You don't need to. I know who you are. You believe.
No, but I'm just saying the solution you are proposing will violate a fundamental principle. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Fine. Point well taken.
It's not just me personally. Yes.
President and CDC gave us 6 years of Superintendent Fale, and nothing good to show for. we have another, hopefully, less than 6 years, I hope, but we might have another 6 years of Grant, who we all believe and we advocate and write and did everything possible to announce to the whole world that this man is not qualified. And yet, he's not leading our county. So are we now settled for doom? Do we agree now that unqualified person is leading our county? Therefore, we should not expect any kinds of good developmental agenda coming from our county. Is that something we're supposed to say now? That's what we believe now, because we didn't get what we wanted. He's now leading. He's now the superintendent. So with us not being able to even work with him now, to show him to somehow help him with his shortcomings, so to speak, now we push away. He's now the leader of the county. So now we're going to say, okay, we agree 6 years, nothing going to happen in Grand GEDEH. Let's go ahead. Let's just continue with it. Is that where we are now? And then we can move on to another subject matter on this.
I'm saying, to me, this conversation is very important. I know it will be elevated one day. Maybe not that this platform is not big, but it will be elevated one day to another platform. Because you ask some real fundamental questions. And you're saying the vindictiveness is something we know. How do you deal with it? And for me, something, the principles that I live by have been lifelong principles. They're not principles that just, I didn't become this just the other day. These are the principles that I live by since I was a child. One of them is I don't get personal with people. The second one is I tell you how I feel about situation. And I tell you, even Senator Peno would tell you that I call him. Several times. I will call him. When an issue comes out that I feel somehow about, I'll call him. Sometimes he doesn't take my call. Superintendent Kaifale, he and I used to talk. I opposed a lot of things he did, and I told him so. But I call him. It's not personal. As long as you become a public figure, you must be willing to listen to criticism, whether you think they're constructive or not. So so the way we engage, if we want to change this idea of vindictiveness, it has to be by example. It's the way that we engage people, you and myself, who want to change the situation. So now you're talking about, the way the thing ended, whether now we should get ready to live, for another 6 years with no development coming out of Grand GEDEH. And I really want everybody to think about it. So if they say,
go ahead.
If they say Samson is a rogue, sorry, I just using you as an example.
Well, that's okay. I'm a rogue.
Will you want to prove to people that you are a rogue or that you are not a rogue? I think wisdom says you will do everything to prove to people that you are not a rogue. We say Mr. Grant is divisive. We say Mr. Grant is vindictive. We say Mr. Grant has bad character. Are those the things he wants to prove to us, or he wants to prove that those things are not true? And that's what he has to deal with. So whether we live with another 6 years of wasted, opportunities or not, depends on Mr. Grant. If he wants to prove us right, then we'll live with a difficult 6 years. If he wants to prove us wrong, what you seem would not be true.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. NYANUE. Again, folks, Samson Radio. I'm here again speaking with Armo NYANUE, who is one of the permanent figure in the GEDEH diaspora. So, Mr. NYANUE, let's go into as far as I'm concerned, one of the hardest topic tonight, Grant situation, and I that's my word, that we failed miserably. I believe. I still say that. But before we leave Grant's situation, let me just say this here, because I know who you are. And I think you and I have had this type of conversation on so many times, on so many occasions. And I think, and this is just my own opinion, and then we can move on. If you want to respond to that, that's fine with me. But I think when we had that conversation, I told you that the like of NYANUE, someone who from a very early age, little child, believed in certain principles. And those principles were instilled in that child even up to the time the child become a grown man. And I told you that there are some of us who those type of things that were not part of us. We are Johnny come lately. So the structure, foundation of this type of belief you have, many Liberians don't have that, I believe. And I think we should recognize if we're in a group setting that with your fundamental belief, which is core to you, I know that, I know you. There's no compromise when it comes to anything illegal with you. I remember when we used to have the party, I'm not going to say what party meeting. You were one of those, the party stand-up bearer always come on when it comes to making decisions that will affect the moral attitude of the entire group. So I know who you are. But I think for us to now have that, to say we must use Grand GEDEH as a test case for Liberia vindictive behavior. I think we're putting ourselves in a bigger hole. But then on the flip side, you would then say, people would say, well, the young people that follow this, would they themselves will learn from this and stand by their, because especially the young people that were in Grand GEDEH for days, in months or more, some of them was getting beaten. They never gave in. So that, I think that perhaps for you is the greater benefit that young people are now gravitating towards the behavior. So when I use the word failure, it is not totally failure for you, because people are now picking up, and perhaps those young people that have interacted with you in this process will hopefully carry this process on. But let me move on to the bigger subject. You want to respond?
No, you can't just move on like that, Samson. I gotta say a few words about what you said, Samson. And I'll try to be brief. You see, here's what I say, Samson. I'm not young, or at least I'm not that young. Let me put it that way. So I've seen quite a bit in life. And what I think each individual has to say to himself, to herself is, why am I here? Why are you here on earth? Because tomorrow you will die. All of us will die. And we will die as individuals, one person at a time. So what is that thing that is motivating you as you live this life? You see, for me, my goal is anyone with whom I come in contact, I want to influence you for good. That is my goal. I may not be able to influence thousands of people. If I can influence 1 or 2 persons, for me, that is success. So what I do, I don't do to please people. That's why my associations are very, very calculated. And if I'm in a group like this group that we are in now, and I am the leader, it's not my will. And you are in the group, whatever happens in the groups that I lead, it happens because that's what the majority want. It's not because that's what William NYANUE wants. If there is a group that is going in a direction that is contrary to my fundamental belief, then I get out, right? So I am just saying that I got certain values that I live by, and I find groups with whom those values resonate, and they are the ones that I associate with, you know.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
so, like I said, and my goal is, if you are my friend, if you and myself work together, my goal is I want to influence you for good. So if you're a liar, when you and I get together, I'm praying and hoping that by the time we've been together for a while, you'll see that lying is not good, you know. And I think that's what we should do. We can't talk about something. We can't talk about good governance and lack of corruption and all of the bad things we talk about, but then we are afraid to influence people to desist from those vices. Or we are thinking that the only way we will succeed is if I can influence the whole of Grand GEDEH. No, the young people who were with me during my campaign in 2020, two of them left, and they were different people. I mean, some of them I'm still in contact with them, and they'll say, Papa, because of you, this and that. If I can just influence a few people, I am successful in my own estimation.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's move on to the next subject matter. Quite recently, like I said, I'm part of this group. I'm in a chat room. So quite recently, this group, the Granadian Diaspora Vice, now want to elevate themselves to an organization level. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And in the process, but before that, let's talk about the chat room itself. Why were you guys take out some Nigerians who are not in favor of this group? Why were they not allowed to be member of this chat group? Was it only for people who are in line with your view, and those who do not have interest, well, not interest, those who do not want to be on your side in terms of argument will be booted out of the group? Why is that?
See, that is the other thing too, something. If you and myself been together for some time, you will know. I'm never ad hoc in my behavior. Everything I do is process-based, and it is transparent. This was not just a typical Grand GEDEH group. This group came together for a specific purpose, and that was a single purpose. And that single purpose was, we wanted to educate appointing authority that Mr. Grant was not the right person to serve Grand GEDEH. That was it. Anybody who came to the group, that was the reason you came. We didn't come here to build hospital in Grand GEDEH or to get children scholarship. It was one issue. So if you're not interested in that issue, then you shouldn't be in this group. It's not Grand GEDEH Association. Grand GEDEH Association, all of us are members. This group was not Grand GEDEH Association. This group came together because they heard that Mr. Grant was appointed and nominated, and this group said, people who said no, Grant should not be, they didn't want came together in this group. That was the only purpose.
So you guys were not ready to accept any member to join you who has an opposing view, who wanted Brent to be a superintendent and try to educate you guys as well. Is that not a healthy debate? So will you not be?
No. This group was not about debate. We say Mr. Grant is being appointed, he's been nominated. Do you want Mr. Grant to be superintendent of Grand GEDEH? You think he's the right person? If you say yes, okay, then this group is not for you. If you say no, I don't think Grant should be superintendent, you educate the president and the appointing authority, then this is your group. It was simple. We were not coming together to debate whether there's nothing. Understand this now. We didn't come together to debate whether we should say Grant should be superintendent or Grant should not be superintendent. That's not it. The group was for people who said, we are concerned that this man's track record disqualifies him from being superintendent of Grand GEDEH. And then we say, okay, so then let's get together and let the president know and let the appointing authority know. So we're not coming to debate.
No, and this you
and then the last thing I want to say is something. The last thing I want to say is that information was posted in the chat room. So it was not just something ad hoc or something out of the blue. It was posted in the chat room that this chat room is a single issue chat room, and it's for people who are supporting the proposition that Mr. Grant is the wrong person for Grand GEDEH. It was posted there.
Thank you.
I even posted again. One time I said, if you don't support this position, then do the honorable thing and remove yourself. It was a single issue chat room.
Right.
And then you will notice, you will notice too, and you should say that after the grand issue ended, and then people said we should elevate this thing to an organization, those people were brought back.
Yeah, I saw that, and that was the reason why I'm asking this question.
Yeah, so they were brought back. Now it's not grand issue, and we're trying to form this organization. So it's important for us to hear everybody's view now. Now it's time to debate. So everybody was brought back.
Okay, all right. And I think for me now, if you open it up for debate, the fact that you have this strong belief, which are considered dictatorial belief, that anyone who is not in favor of what we're trying to do, stay away. Now you have these same people as still member of this group that want to elevate to another position. So I found it much difficult to say now that now they will put their dictatorial tendency aside and now try to gravitate towards the liberal. But that's another conversation. That's another conversation. Let's go into the formation process of this group. And if you don't mind, I'm going to read the entire term of reference. You guys have already set up a committee, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And the committee was given the terms of reference. So I'm going to read the terms of reference, and there are certain keywords there that I've highlighted from my side that I would like for you to address. This group, this is the terms of reference, organizing committee, new Grand GEDEH County Focus Organization. New Grand GEDEH County Focus Organization. And they say, these terms of reference are established for the purpose of facilitating the establishment of a new Grand GEDEH County Focus Organization in the United States diaspora. The organizing effort is to be headed by the organizing committees whose general mandate is to work out all organizing issues. These terms of reference define the scope and responsibility of the committee. Let's discuss that little stuff. We got time. So we have in the diaspora, Grand GEDEH diaspora, we have, besides the section organization and besides the Tugbe and the other group organization, besides other 60 born and what have you, we have Grand GEDEH Association. And many of you have been the leader of this organization. So before we go on here, that will come later. I will bring that in. Let's discuss these terms of reference. What's the purpose? What are you guys trying to achieve by establishing another Grand GEDEH County organization? But this time it's called Focus Organization. What's the reason behind this focus? What exactly are you saying focus? Why are you using that word focus?
All right, Samson, thank you. I think this is a timely conversation because I think there's some misunderstanding, there's some confusion about this effort, and I think it's important to clarify. You know, the term that you are focusing on is a Grand GEDEH focus. So in other words, it means that this group, once it's established, the only thing that they will be involved with is about issues that affect Grand GEDEH. So the focus will be on Grand GEDEH. That's not the name of the group. All right. Yes. It just means that the vision and the mission will be about Grand GEDEH. right? And if you read those terms of reference again, you'll
Yes.
find out that one of the things the committee is supposed to do is to determine appropriate name for this group. So this group doesn't have a name yet. This group doesn't have leaders yet, right?
Okay.
This committee has the responsibility of working out all those difficult issues.
Okay. All right. Let me go on. And there are four bullet point here that you guys have. So, general, you say the committee, and I will read all of them through now, and then you and I can have that discussion.
That's fine.
Okay. The committee shall consist of 9 persons who shall select, and I'm going to underline those words, select their relevant officer for the smooth execution of the committee mandate as stipulated in these terms of reference. The first meeting of the committee shall be called and presided over by the leadership team of ad hoc group that supported the effort. Listen now, Mr. NYANUE, you guys, that's just a liberal. Let me read that again. The first meeting of the committee shall be called and presided over by the leadership team of an ad hoc group that supported the effort to oppose Mr. Grant Superintendent. Mr. NYANUE, you just told us, but let me go on. As Superintendent of Grand GEDEH, at the meeting, the committee shall elect or select its officer. Subsequent meeting of the committee shall be called and presided over by its leadership. Now, only one word here, that one sentence here that I'm going to pick on, and then we can discuss that. You told us already that the grant issue is already over. And so, for grant issue, there was no debate. This is it, you join, we move grant or we stop grant. You don't like it, stay out. Then this committee is not here. But now you say you're ready now for us to have a serious debate now as to what we do with this committee. But look at the leadership that's going to head this committee. They're already prejudicial. There's nothing here already because they're already coming in with a mindset that is already ingrained in them. I'm talking to them as though they're talking as small. Look at BB Grand GEDEH building. Yeah, for everybody agreeing. but seriously, Mr. Young. So you're saying that the people is now open. But listen to this. The first meeting of the committee shall be called and presided over by the leadership team of the ad hoc group that supported the effort to oppose Mr. Grant. So if you oppose or not support Mr. Grant to be stabbed, then you will not be part of this leadership meeting. Is that correct?
That's not correct.
Okay.
That is not correct. First of all, Samson, I'm sure you follow the process.
Yeah, right? I am in a group.
When the grant issue brought to a closure by our last press release, then when we had the general meeting, everybody was saying, so what's the next step? And they're close to consensus. There were a few persons who dissented, but the close to consensus view was this group should not disband. Let elevate it to an advocacy group. So we need to work out the details of establishing that group. That was what was close to consensus. So then we put out the word, okay, let's set up a committee. Let's set up a committee.
I apologize, Mr. NYANUE. Granddaughter walk on my studio.
Something to I got 5 grandchildren, so So I know what it means.
I'm sorry about that, folks.
No, so I was saying, I mean, just to go over the process. So the agreement was that we should set up an organizing committee. And just to make sure that we who coordinated the effort on grant issue, we're not the same people doing this. We decided to do a separate committee, organizing committee. But that organizing committee needed to meet because we did not appoint their leaders.
Right.
We didn't.
Okay.
People volunteer and they needed to meet. Now, who's going to call their meeting for them to meet? So we said we will call the first meeting and one of us will preside. And the role for that one person is just to facilitate the group electing or selecting their leaders.
Okay.
Whichever way they want to do it. If they want to select, they select.
Okay.
But no. So let me clarify this now because this is important. And you'll see in the chat room. So that one person from our team, those of us who are leading the grant effort, their only role was just preside and make sure there's order, and then they do their thing, they elect their leaders, and that was it. But you will notice that we said in the chat room also, this committee will be making monthly progress reports. And we are encouraging everybody in the chat room to ask the difficult question when those reports come out. If the reports come out and you figure that they are biased, hey, this is time to debate. Then say so. And I think everybody that will be in that chat room will be reasonable and rational. So if something comes up, and something, that's the other thing that I think people need to understand. And that people don't understand. To succeed as a leader, you can't undercut yourself. And undercutting yourself means you lie, you are partial, you pick and choose people, you will fail. Your organization will not succeed. So for me, this is an open process. For this organization to succeed, people must feel that this organization represents their view. If the majority of them don't feel, the organization will fail. This is voluntary.
Okay.
So when this committee comes with a report and they are biased, say they're biased, and then we'll debate it.
Okay. All right, Mr. NYANUE, let's go into the elephant in the room now. We have GEDEH Association. We have GEDEH in the Diaspora organization, headed by Mr. Levi Khan, was another fine young gentleman, GEDEH. And we have these other organizations that are also GEDEH specific. Now, let's deal with the membership or potential membership, because if everybody from Grand would not want to be, because I was at a meeting, and one of the things that everyone wanted at that meeting that night was to turn this Grand Diaspora Voice into an organization. And I think everybody agreed on it at that time, and you guys went ahead to, as a leader, form a committee. So, but let's look at the potential membership of this organization. Mr. NYANUE, former president of GEDEH Association. Mr. Gay Slair, former president of ULA. Mr. Actor Waxing, former president of ULA. Dr. Steve Boley, former board member of the GEDEH Association. Mr. Bo Yonne, former board member of GEDEH Association. Mr. Thomas Collins, former president of GEDEH Association. Mr. Emmanuel Cooper, former president of GEDEH Association. Mr. Samson Toll, former chairman of education, Honor Madam Mata Kana. And the list goes on. With Madam Cooper, Madam Annie Cooper, I think I'm forgetting her. I apologize for forgetting her last name. But Annie Cooper is one of the permanent leaders within the GEDEH community. Mr. NYANUE, with all of this brain power, and permanent Granadian diaspora that are now forming another organization and leaving Grand GEDEH Association, which is the mother organization for all of us. And many of you were at the leadership position of this noble organization and were praised by many Liberians that many of you, because of your leadership, that Grand GEDEH Association were able to achieve a certain status within the Liberian diaspora. With this new idea, Mr. James K., former All Liberian Conference member, chairman. Mr. K was also member of the group that I believe he was in Accra for the peace conference. So, and Mr. Jerry Bade, who is also highly skilled and leader in Canada. Mr. NYANUE, with this highly qualified group that you guys are putting together, is it wrong for these young people who are trying their best to lead this Grand GEDEH Association, which is splintered all over this place? Is it wrong for them to now come back and accuse the like of Samson or trying to foment division, divisive idea in our community? And they can point to this organization that we're trying to put together. Then they will say, why are you having this? If you think Grand GEDEH Association is not focused enough for the issue that you want this new Grand GEDEH focus, Grand GEDEH, or whatever it is to do, why are you leaving us and not coming to fix this and not coming for us to, we Grand GEDEH, the constitution is for Grand GEDEH County Association. We made, in fact, my name is on that constitution anyway as one of the original drafter. Why are we not going to amend the constitution so that Grand GEDEH Association can be used as a Grand GEDEH focus organization, Mr. NYANUE? Do you blame the young people for accusing Samson or bringing idea to divide this community more?
Samson, I understand why some might think that way. And I think that's why it's important that we're having this conversation, because I think people need not think that way, because why it may appear that way, that's not the reality. I mean, somebody like me, something you should know, right? I don't just associate with groups to associate with groups. All of these people you named are all part of the Grand GEDEH Association. I am in the Grand GEDEH Association chat room. If I felt that Grand GEDEH Association was irrelevant to me, I would remove myself from there. I'm there. I'm in the Grand GEDEH Association chat room. Not only that, when an issue comes up, I consult the president of the Grand GEDEH Association. I mean, this is a public forum, so I'm sure she's hearing me. And if she's not hearing me, if somebody who's hearing me who would say, if I'm lying, say, Mr. NYANUE, lying on you. Even this issue with Grant, I consulted her. And in the heat of the election back home, when with issue with Kai Fale, I consulted her. The press statement that is sent out, she sent it to me to look at it. I look at it, I got my suggestion. When Mr. Djibouti was president, when things happened in Grand GEDEH, I consulted him, made my suggestion. So we are not leaving. It's not true. We are not leaving. We are with the Grand GEDEH Association. The thing that people realize is the legal structure of Grand GEDEH Association does not allow it to do certain things. It's a 501c3 organization. So its level of advocacy is different. What people are thinking for this group, and that's why I'm saying you got to read the whole terms of reference. That is a difficult task that committee will have, because in those terms of reference, it is said this new group should not do anything that will duplicate what the Grand GEDEH Association is there.
Yes.
So we are not putting this group together to just do the same that Grand GEDEH Association is doing. If the committee cannot determine unique role that this organization can play, and they just want to do the same thing that Grand GEDEH Association is doing, then there's no need for this group. So that's one of the challenges the committee has. This group vision and mission has to be unique to this group. It can't duplicate what Grand GEDEH Association.
Let me hold you right there. You say that it has to be unique, and you you're in the leadership of this group as well, and you've been the past in the leadership of the past Grand GEDEH leadership group as well. So when you say unique, can you give us an example where you will not be able to duplicate the work of Grand GEDEH Association?
I mean, take for example something. When there's an election in Grand GEDEH, Grand GEDEH Association is not supposed to enter the candidates. It cannot. This group could do that. This group can endorse. If it's a 501c4, it can endorse. It can look at all the candidates and say, based on A, B, C, D, this is the person we are endorsing, and this is the person we are asking people to vote for. Grand GEDEH Association can do it. It's just one simple example. And so that's what I'm saying, and that's what the committee will have to look at, because when they come back to us and they spell out the vision and the scope of operation of this new group, these are things they have to point out. So somebody like you, I mean, you'll be in the chat room when these reports come out, and I'm hoping others who are not in that chat room, you know, that are interested in this conversation, they can call Bouillon, call myself, call Matthew Wai, or, you know, and we'll put them in the chat room.
Yeah,
so that when it comes up,
that's another gentleman that I didn't need, Matthew White.
Yeah, Matthew. So you can call Matthew White. No, so what I'm saying is something. This will carve out a niche. It will carve out an area that it can complement the Grand GEDEH Association on. The goal is to complement. It's not to compete. We cannot compete with any Grand GEDEH group. Our goal, because the thing is, all the Grand GEDEH groups, I'm saying, all of them, what they want is what is best for Grand GEDEH. That's it. You know, we're not competing for different things. Well, if there's something that Grand GEDEH Association can better do, then all of us should rally around Grand GEDEH Association to do it. If something that we can better do, then, you know, and I'm saying we now are talking about this new group, because this new group is not even in existence yet. And I'm not the leader of this new group. So let that be clear. I'm not a leader of this. This new group has no leader yet, because the new group has not even been established.
Okay, so let's go into the major issue, which is not something that most likely is not going to be duplicating function of Grand GEDEH Association, and that have to do with finances. Once this group is successful in forming itself, those who are going to be financing this group are members of Grand GEDEH Association. Are you not taking bread from the table of Grand GEDEH Association, Mr. NYANUE?
The young people who contribute to 60 Bond, to United 60 Bond, to Boston Association, to United Chain Association, are they taking money from the Grand GEDEH Association? I mean, that is the reality of our situation, Samson. So nobody is taking money away from anybody. You know, that's what I'm saying. When push comes to just that our situation just pathetic. Because if right leadership, you know, when I was campaigning 2020, what I used to tell our people is that the unfortunate thing is that Grand GEDEH's leaders do not realize that Grand GEDEH's diaspora is their 4th electoral district. They don't realize that. They don't realize the potential that is here, just waiting to be tapped. They make everybody here their enemy. They want names. I mean, I told the story before. When I first went, my first tour in Grand GEDEH, when I was touring, Senator Peno now, I mean, after I was in Zwedru for some time, I left, I went to Bazon. He came in the county, went to Zwedru, and basically went to the same places that I went. And what was this big campaign thing? William NYANUE pushing cartoon in America. That was his big campaign. I here in America, I'm pushing cartoon, right? So if the leadership of Grand GEDEH will tap into this potential that is here in the diaspora, there's so much that can be done. So if an issue comes up that we all need to support, and we have the right leadership, all these sister born, United Sister born, Chende, Bison, this, if we had the right leadership, they will bring all together and say, let's focus on this one issue and support it, right? So we need to create synergies. We need to work together. We don't need to compete.
Thank you. And this is why it's very difficult, conversations to start naming people. I left out my own good friend, Alfonso Babla. I left out Emma Babla. These are people, they are pillars of our community as well.
Sharon Brown.
Sharon Brown. It just, you don't name people in any type of conference, because if you leave out somebody, then it becomes, those of you who name I'm leaving out, you all are just important in this community than any other, just like any other person. So please forgive me. But the reason why I'm naming these people, all of you that are in this group, as a higher member of this community, many of you have had leadership positions. Many of you have had ideas that help to develop and stabilize and even maintain Grand GEDEH Association. And that's what I was just naming all of you. But I think Mr. Nyanoe's point of saying that, they will not be able to duplicate the Grand GEDEH Association function strictly because of the tax status, which is okay for me. So, Mr. Nyanoe, let me twist this thing a little bit with my own liberal mind. And like you said, you're not that old. You're young, very young. And this group that you're putting together, according to you, this group can organize itself and will organize itself and can say, okay, we will support certain candidate and support certain issue. And you went as a senator trying to seek the senatorial position in Grand GEDEH County before. So if you're going to go again for the second time, will we expect this group that you're organizing to be your support base?
No, Samson, I don't do those kind of things. For me, to do that is like you're playing a game. I don't like to play game. And that's why you will notice that when this group is done, finally, it goes through an objective, transparent process. It will get a leader. And it will have principles by which it will operate. And those principles will include, for example, how do you someone? Yeah, I mean, you were in this group, but one of the difficult questions we had, because when the Liberian authority engaged and said, okay, if you don't want grant, tell us now who you want. We couldn't answer that question because we didn't have an objective process by which to arrive at that decision. And I wasn't going to be part of any kangaroo process that just pick one name from the hat and say, this is the name. I wasn't going to be part of that. So this group will have to be professional. If they're going to endorse, they must, first of all, they have established their principle way ahead of time. The next election starts in 2029. So they need to establish their principle now, this year, next year. And when that time comes, and if I am running, I say if, right? If I am running and whatever they have in those principles are consistent with what I'm doing, then when they make a decision, it will be consistent with their values. But all that I'm saying is that, if I am engaged in a political process, I will make sure that this group is not compromised because of me, because this group will be bigger than me, and this group should last longer than me. So if I do anything to compromise this group, I'll be too naive, and I will never do that. So no, this group is never going to be established to be my support base if I am running. And something.
So, yes.
You're talking about this anything, that's the issue.
You're breaking up.
Because the issue in Liberia, and for me, it's very painful. I mean, I shared with people before. Those of you who follow my history, first, you will know that I was never political. I did strictly. The whole time when I came from engineering school, I was not involved in politics. Even when I was president of the university student, I work was humanitarian. photos through and photos
Mr. Nyano, you're breaking up.
to help you.
Can you get get out and come back in? Yeah, you're breaking up. You're breaking up a big time now. So can you get out and come back? Let's see if Mr. Nyano will come back. Again, folks, Samson told LeBron having a very, very high conversation with Mr. Nyano, William Nyano, here tonight, who is member of the Liberian GEDEH diaspora. And we're going to push. We're going to push back. We're going to push back on these conversations because they're very important. That people understand exactly what this group is all about and what they're trying to do. And Mr. Nyano has explained to us what the purpose of their forming this group, which makes sense because Grand GEDEH Association does not have the means, not that they don't have the means, but they cannot join a political party. Mr. Nyano, are you there? No,
yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right. Yeah, please continue.
No, so I'm saying people who follow my history will know that, politics has not been my whole life. I really became political active after after I went through the war, and I thought, I needed to be heard. Okay. And that's how I got involved in the Grand GEDEH effort here in the U.S. because I thought Grand GEDEH was being badly mismanaged or being badly represented. There was an image out there of us from Grand GEDEH that was not true. And I didn't see an effective, strong, consistent, resistance to that image. So I decided to get involved, and I got involved.
Mr. Nyano, we were here when you guys came and joined us. We had an organization, but I understand your point, but you have to sympathize with our position. Those days there was a war. And there was a huge conflict in Grand GEDEH County as well. And so when we were trying to manage that conflict, at the same time running our organization, it was just difficult to do. Because whenever we go to a convention, and I'm not going to call the group name here, but we have certain group fighting against each other, face fight. Police will be called, and the meeting will be, the convention will be disturbed. So those were the kinds of things that was happening to us. It was during the war, and during the war there was conflict in Grand GEDEH County. And so I just want to push back on that because my sister, Madame Kana, I remember when she was chairman of the Constitution Committee. She was, I believe, 8.5 months pregnant, and she was riding from New Jersey, Philadelphia, New York, and all those kinds of places. So people did some serious work, groundwork. Even though we're not perfect, but I think we did some real wonderful job here for this organization from the initial stage, I would say.
No, Samson, if I imply that, then I apologize. That was not my intent. Because Grand GEDEHs here in the U.S. before I came did enormous work for our people. I remember under Joseph Gibro, you guys rallied. Yeah. When our people were starving in the barracks, you sent food to them. Every now and then, somebody will be on BBC or,
right,
one of the media outlets, and they were advocating for. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean to say that.
No.
I realized the challenge that people had here. But all that I'm saying is I was motivated to get involved in this political thing at the level which I did because I felt that whatever effort that was out there needed to be strengthened. So I needed to add my voice and whatever little expertise I have, to strengthen that effort. And that's how I got involved. And if you watch my history, even here when I got involved here, I didn't get involved as president of the group here. I was chaplain. That was my first job here. I was chaplain. And for chaplain before I became a chapter leader.
Right.
But all that I'm saying is something, I'm just saying my history. And then after I left that, I decided to write. I wrote several about the situation in Liberia, not just Grand GEDEH.
Right.
And then you remember I got involved with Bromsky for 12 years. I was with Bromsky for 12 years.
Yes.
And to me, the insanity in Liberia, the craziness in Liberia and in Grand GEDEH is this belief that will develop Grand GDEH, because some senator or some representative go out there with their money and they build bridge and they build market. It's insanity. Where in this world, it's like we are in our own universe. Where in this world has any country developed on the basis of their leaders going and building things and doing things for them? It's not there. And we are educated people, but we believe it. We believe it. And to me, that's pure insanity. Countries develop because of their resources. And resources are not just material, they're also human. So it's a combination of their human and material resources. In Grand GEDEH today, as other parts of Liberia, the resources are being exploited. They are being exploited. And some of the resources are not renewable. When they're gone, they're gone. How does Grand GEDEH benefit? And then we're talking about some representative here coming build this and coming build that, how we'll develop the country. We're not talking about managing the resources that we have, leveraging them to develop our place, to educate our people, to put our people to work.
Mr. NYANUE, with that statement, it puts us back to the Grand situation. Grand most likely might not be removed. He'll be there for 6 years. And everything you're saying, all of these great ideas, most likely going to have to wait until, because the Grand is most likely it's not going to seek help from any of us here in the diaspora. And so what do? We just sit on these ideas. And I'll give you an example. When Kai Fale was there, I mean, if serious, it was a problem. I couldn't sleep at night. Serious problem. When the area over there in Pele Village was so devastated, the road was bad. People couldn't go through. And I know I'm right there from Totown. From Totown to Pele Village is about less than 10 minutes drive. And I could help these people. So I contacted Chele Jokla, who I believe, because during the campaign, he was the Zopen campaign chief. So I contacted him because I knew he had contact with the superintendent. And he put the superintendent on the line with me. And the superintendent told me that he was in Monrovia and he was going to be going to Grand GEDEH in about a week. They were going to call me. 2 months later, no call. I called Chele Jokla. He said, "Big brother, I'm in the process of wedding. I'm getting married." And immediately after that, we'll get in touch with me. After the wedding, I'm yet to get a call from them. So these are kinds of stuff for me that I see. And since I know that I'm here in the diaspora, I'm not going to get position in Grand GEDEH. So I just feel like anybody who has the position in Grand GEDEH, whatever thing you want me to do to help with the road issues, I don't mind doing that. So here you are saying all of these wonderful things. But we have Grand who oppose, massively opposed, but he's not leading. How do we now go and bring these ideas out? Because they're there to benefit our people, Mr. NYANUE.
Something, you're making the wrong argument. You're making the wrong argument. Grant is now the leader of the people of Grand GEDEH. That's his burden. He is now supposed to be saying to himself, all these things that I say I will do, how can I do them? That's his burden. Does that mean that we just sit by and say that's his burden? No. That's why somebody like me, Samson, when I ran my campaign, I had a platform. It was a public document. So all my ideas are in that little piece of document. Anybody can take it and read it. And anybody can take it and implement those programs. Because for me, it's not about who does what. I'm interested in the result. If we have a good superintendent who is handling this issue, I will clap for you. I will support you. And that's what people need to know. Today, if Grant were to do something fantastic in Grand GEDEH that benefited poor Grand GEDEH, I'll be one of the first people to write him and tell him thank you. Right? But the thing that I realized, something, is that there are very few of us who have the privilege or the opportunity to provide leadership at that level. Right? So you can't say, I will wait until I get to that level. Whatever we have, we must articulate them. we should say them so people can hear them, right? If we have an opportunity to write them, we write them. And then people who can take them and use them, they should take them and use them. These are not proprietary ideas that you say that my idea, nobody else can use it. They should take it and use it. You know, what I'm just saying now is, I mean, like right now, because I contacted some of our leaders. My first suggestion to them was, these people that are operating in the county, whether a logging company or gold mining company, are you thinking about getting their legal documents to review to see what it is that they are supposed to do in the county and whether they're doing it? The response I have was, oh, if you have the document, send it to me. And then I say, okay, thank you. Right? So I'm saying, for me, whatever idea I have, I put it in the public domain. If you can use it, you use it. The Grand GEDEH benefit, we all benefit. For me, that's it. For me, it's result. You know.
Thank you.
So, and again, it's also the people of Grand GEDEH.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Nyano. Before I open the line, is there something you want to say to Grand GEDEH's brothers and sisters who are seriously concerned about this new formation of this organization to alleviate some of the fear that perhaps they might have out there?
I mean, something that's what I said. I said, and I'm saying again, there's no need to be fearful. None of us would do anything to undermine the Grand GEDEH Association in America. Remember when we're doing the grant situation, the Grand GEDEH Association issued a press statement that was contrary to our effort. You didn't hear any response from any of us. We didn't attack anybody. We didn't criticize anybody. We didn't.
Yeah, not from the leadership,
so I don't think there's any.
Some members were pushing.
Well, all I'm just saying is, obviously something. If you have a group, you know, people have different views, and the thing that matters is where the leadership leads the group. And I'm saying our leadership didn't do that. From our leadership, we didn't castigate anybody.
Right.
We didn't do that, and we will never do that. Right. So I'm saying there's no need to be fearful.
Okay. All right, folks, that's the number there. The first number, 916-533-2048. While we wait your call, let me now go with Mr. Nyano on the bigger stage, because Mr. Nyano at one time was seeking to be senator of the Liberian Senate from Grand GEDEH County. So, Mr. Nyano, let me ask you this, and this is just if now, because if you were to be successful at the time, what are some of the things perhaps you see right now in the Senate that you would have done different than what the people are doing now? Or perhaps you will be on board with everything they're saying and everything they're doing?
No, Samson. And one of the reasons that I was going to go in the Senate, actually, there are two reasons. One is that the Senate provides you a platform. And there are people who are using that platform effectively today. One of them is Admiral Conant. Right. Like him, hate him. He's using that platform. He has certain ideas, certain reform ideas. And he is saying, I will put them out there. And he's doing that. He's doing that. How far he will go right now, because they don't have the critical mass in the Senate, you know, to fully benefit from that kind of engagement, but he's planting something. So the Senate, that place provides you a platform from which you can speak. It's like it gives you a bullhorn so that more people can hear you. And that was, if I was in the Senate, one of the things I was going to do, I was going to use that platform. This message I'm talking about, the insanity in Grand GEDEH in Liberia, in terms of the way we look at government, I was going to use that bullhorn to say, because it's not just Grand GEDEH, it's the whole country. People are sitting there waiting for their representative to come. I mean, I go to a place and then they tell me something. 2 places during my campaign. They said, Mr. Nyanu, we don't have toilet. And then I said, but why you don't have toilet? And they were kind of confused that I asked that kind of question. And one of the places I said, but what is a toilet? And I just hold to D-hole. You can D-hole. So you're sitting down and waiting for your representative to come and dig toilet for you. That mentality is what's killing us. And that's why we need to educate our people. So if I were in the Senate, one of the things I'm going to be doing is to educate our people to say, look, you know what? These things that you are focusing on will keep you in poverty and your children in poverty. They will keep you in poverty. He said, Mr. Nyanu, okay, so Mr. Nyanu, if you really want to win this school, you know what it takes to run a school? Well, for them, it's just a building. One place that I went to school building was in the bush. Nice concrete structure. I asked them why. They said, no teacher. Right? So educated and the purpose for senator.
Okay. I think Mr. Nyanu is having some internet issue. Mr. Nyanu, are you there? Okay. All right. I think we're gonna excuse Mr. Nyanu once he come back on. We're gonna excuse him and just come back. Maybe once this group is formed, we will make sure we have another conversation with Mr. Nyanu. But folks, Samson told Labro, I'm here again this evening having conversation with Mr. Nyanu. Mr. Nyanu, I think he's by. Mr. Nyanu, are you there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So you can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. No, so I'm saying that was one of the things that I was going to do. Okay. Is to try my best to educate our people as much as I can. The second thing that I was going to try to do is to deal with this insanity. Because if Grand GEDEH must develop, if the county must develop, right, we must leverage our resources, right? We need to manage our resources and to use them to develop the county. See, right now, the conversation that has been in Liberia for a while is this whole idea of revenue sharing. The idea is that whatever revenue comes from Grand GEDEH, that comes to central government, the people of Grand GEDEH must have a share. It cannot come to say, okay, we get $200.
Mr. Nyanu, your audio and internet is serious about tonight. But let me go to Mr. Former President Thomas Collins. Mr. Collins, are you with us? Mr. Collins, can you hear me? Mr. Collins, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Nyanu, okay, his internet is back. Mr. Nyanu, Mr. Collins on up. Go ahead, Mr. Collins, and then we can go ahead.
Yeah, you told us to call him. Is Mr. Nyanu done?
No, you can call him. He's still here.
Oh, okay, all right. Yes, I listened to Mr. Nyanu from the beginning to present, and I'm not going to ask him any question because I'm part of the process. But I just want to, especially for us that hail from Grand GEDEH, including you, Mr. Toole.
I'm from Lofa County now, and I'm from Brazil again.
You're from Tota, and the rest of us that are listening, one of the things I want us to realize is that the journey for the future has already started in Liberia. You see counties and you see other people working hard to make sure that things are happening in the county. Even though we got the armed brother situation in the country where governance is the problem, but there are counties that are moving forward. The journey have already started. Unfortunately for us, Mr. Toole, we have not realized that in Grand GEDEH. So that's the reason why you see us dragging, and the young progressive people in the county has not grasped the idea that we need to start to pick up our pieces and be able to do what we need to do. So when it comes to an advocacy organization or group that will electing us, that will be able to help us realize that our resources have been mismanaged, that will help us to understand that we need good governance in our county. I mean, it's a good thing. And I just wanted to add that the caliber of people that are on this bandwagon, making sure that they establish something that's going to help Grand GEDEH, are people that serve in high focus position, high positions in the Grand GEDEH Association. And there's no way we're going to undermine the process. I mean, I took part in one of the meetings, and somebody came up with the same idea that we have Grand GEDEH Association, we got other organizations, and how can we put together, something like this? And I told them I work with Mr. NYANUE, our Secretary General, on it, that we got our entire constitution, but we're limited to certain things that we can do. And just for the interest of the county, I think it's necessary for us to be able to pick up all our salinas and make them work. So, while we are there, what we are working to make sure there's an organization that will help us to refocus, that will help us to give guidance to all Grand GEDEHs, including all of us are in Grand GEDEH Association. I think it should be a welcoming idea, and nobody should have fear that we're going to undermine Grand GEDEH Association.
Okay. Thank you. That's the voice of former President Thomas Cullen, President of Grand GEDEH Association. Mr. President, thank you very much. That's statement reassuring many of us who are concerned. But thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay, Mr. NYANUE, even though we had it scheduled for 2 hours, but we'll take leave of you at this time. I think you have given us all of the information and even more. As usual, I've already appreciate when you come on this platform. But before I let you go, let me push one other line here, and this has to do with Liberia. What do you make of President Bakai 5 months administration? Is there anything you like, dislike, or need to fix or need to do?
You mean what President Bakai is doing in Grand GEDEH?
No, overall, Liberia.
Oh,
his administration, day to day activities of running Liberia.
When I come on your show, I come with certain hats. And the hat that I put on tonight was Grand GEDEH hat, not Liberia hat. So unfortunately, unless you want me to go change this hat and put a Liberia hat on. I want to Grand GEDEH hat on tonight or something.
Jesus, you're a true Liberian politician. I think when they let you leave from Chicago to go to Liberia and run for the Senate, I think they should, because that NYANUE that is bike is a Liberian politician. I appreciate it.
That's true.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there. We'll say thank you very much. We appreciate it. But is there any closing before we take leave of you here? So appreciate that.
No, something I really want to say thank you for this opportunity, because I think it's important for us to clarify, because there are people who are genuinely concerned about this new group that is coming up, and I think their concerns are genuine, they're legitimate. If I didn't know what I know about the effort, I would be concerned. But I just want to let everybody know there's no need to be concerned. We will not do anything. I will not be part of anything that will undermine the Grand GEDEH Association. I mean, administrations come and administrations go, but the institution stays. When administration come, they come with their own policy. When they leave, somebody else come, they come with their own policy. But Grand GEDEH Association remain Grand GEDEH Association. I think it's incumbent upon all of us, whatever we can do to strengthen Grand GEDEH Association, to do so. And like I said, I've in contact with the communication with the president, and I've made my services available to her. I said, whatever I can do to help, let me know. It's just that from my own situation in and out of the country, so it's just hard for me to make long-term commitments. But there's no need for people to be overly concerned about this group. In fact, actually to be concerned, there's no need to be concerned. Once the documents, and that's why I'm encouraging everybody, come in the chat room. When the documents come, we'll put them over there. There will be nothing hidden. And if you see anything in there that concerns you, you should voice it out. And I think a lot of us are fair-minded people. We're not going to play games. So again, thanks for having me and giving me this opportunity to make these clarifications. And I hope we can work together to see a better Grand GEDEH. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Daniel. And I think we will do our best here on LPR as well. That when the committee come back with their report, we will try to get hold of it because it's nothing secret on the website on the chat room anyway. We will try to get hold of it and then perhaps invite some member of the committee to give us some if we're concerned with certain things, give us some clarity on those issues that might get us to be concerned. But I will say thank you very much. And please, once everything's set in and done, when we invite you next time, you try to bring your two hats, one for Grand GEDEH, one for Liberia.
Yeah. But Samson, that is a challenge you have. That's the challenge you have, though, when you have grandchildren, because some of them can take those hats and you don't know where to put them. So you can't find them.
All right, okay, Manyaru, thank you very much. And we'll say good night to you. Appreciate it, sir.
Good night. Good night.
Yeah, folks, sorry, we family and son is traveling and he called me, so I have to answer. But thank you guys, Mr. Nyano. Thank you very much for appearing on LPR again tonight. It's a wonderful, wonderful conversation. Many Grandians that have been calling, they were concerned, and I think, like you correctly stated, they have a reason, and then their reason are legitimate. But that's why we have you clarifying things, and we really do appreciate it. Mr. Thomas Collins, as usual, their clarification was straight on point as well. You also saying you're not going to be part of any process that will try to undermine the association that you worked so hard for, because it was under your administration, Mr. Collins, that Grand GEDEH was truly recognized all over the world. You raised close to 100 plus thousand. You were the most admired president of the association. So for you to make that statement, it gave us, some of us, a reason to truly say thank you, thank you. And many of the people that I called tonight, it's not like you're trying to get into an organization to sabotage the Grand GEDEH Association. For many of you, the likes of actor Waxing, Mr. James K, Mr. Toe, Gaisler, Mr. Babla, all of you are luminaries of our community, the pillars of our community. So when we see many of you gravitating towards a specific group, it's reason to say what's going on here. So we just try to pick in to see what is happening. But I see that nothing there. You guys are just doing it purely to make sure Grand GEDEH is stronger. And I appreciate that because Grand GEDEH right now, to be honest with you, what do we have in terms of true representative in this the government? And then, one of the things I wanted to ask Mr. NYANUE, I know I wrote it down here, but time, that's fine. We'll get him again. And which was, why is Grand GEDEH not being heavily represented in this by Waka administration? And then, of course, Mr. Soul said, but ain't you hear on their platform singing for Waka every day, dancing for Waka? What they can call you? I don't know them. They don't know me. Folks, Samson to LeBron Pabrito, I will say thank you. We'll be back here again tomorrow, Friday. Let's tune in for Mr. Soul Show, and we will do our best here to have the conversation as well. As usual, Brigabo, thank you for tuning in. Fatima, thank you very much. You're always with us. We say thank you. Tonight it was just Grand GEDEH specific because the group, as you guys heard, is a group that had themselves together, put themselves together to resist the nomination and the confirmation process of the Grand GEDEH sitting in our superintendent of Grand GEDEH County because they felt that he was not qualified and does not have the qualification to lead the county. However, the president, on the other hand, thought otherwise and said, "This is the man that I have." And they when we go to the meeting, Mike, I wasn't going to hide it. I told them who I wanted. I wanted Timmons Collins or Fred Williams to be the superintendent. That's it. I'm not here to come beat around the bush. But that's what we have. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. I don't even see you, Sam. I don't see you. I see you. Yeah, man, my team stopped working tonight. So I had to put this mic down here, and I couldn't find the base for this mic either. So it was terrible. But anyhow, we did it. We went through. I want to thank all of you again. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. And we'll say good night to all of you. Thank you, and good night, folks.